So we'll look at Judaism's sacred writings. Okay, and there's four we are going to look at, the four sacred writings in Judaism. So you have the Tanakh, which are the Hebrew scriptures. You have the Mishnah. We'll talk about that. You have the Talmud, and you have the Midrash. Okay, so the Tanakh. So these are the Hebrew or Jewish scriptures, and it consists of 39 books. You can think of them as just writings. Okay, books sometimes sounds like actual books, but that's what they're called. But it's to indicate that it's a collection of different writings from various times. Okay, and the age of composition is difficult to determine, but you have parts of the Tanakh that are as old as 1000 BCE, and down to say maybe 500/400 BCE. Okay, now so the Tanakh is divided into three groupings. You have the Torah, and this consists of the first 5 books in the Bible. So the book of Genesis up until the book of Deuteronomy. And they have a group of writings known as the Nevi'im. And these are the writings called the prophets. So these are writings that reflect the words of various prophets over a period of time, maybe even hundreds of years. And then all the other writings are grouped under the Ketuvim. So by far the most important part of the Tanakh is the Torah. This is by far the most important part of the Tanakh. Then we have the Mishnah, which is authored around CE 200. And the authors of the Mishnah saw themselves as part of an unbroken chain dating back to Moses, who was succeeded by Joshua, who was succeeded by elders of the Exodus, right down to the Mishnah. And a lot of it had to do, or the Mishnah has to do with, ritual purity, and just about every area of Jewish life. Now, so the next set of writings that are central to Judaism is the Talmud. So this is a vast collection of writings, and it contains the teachings of the rabbis. Now, the Talmud is not the official teachings of Judaism. Okay, it records all authoritative minority views. Okay, so you don't quote the Talmud as though you were, trying to quote something to prove that this is what the rabbis, the tradition thinks. The Talmud will contain both opposition minority views as well as the dominant view. There's two major Talmuds. One is the Babylonian Talmud is very long. Okay, and it was composed between CE 200 and 650. And then the shorter one, the Palestinian Talmud, is shorter. Okay, and then now the last group of scriptures we'll talk about would be the Midrash. So Midrash really is just means it's an ongoing commentary. It's almost like it's an ongoing tradition of commentary and critique, and it's potentially never ending. Okay, so texts that become important. So texts that emerge and become important become part of this midrash. Okay, so we have the Tanakh. Okay, we have the Mishnah. Okay, we have the Talmud, and then we have the Midrash. And one way to think about these four, the relationship of these four, is to think in terms of concentric circles. So at the center of everything is the Tanakh, and then of next greatest importance is the Mishnah, and then you have the Talmud. Okay, and then you have the Midrash. Okay, and that's one way to think of the relationship of all four Hebrew, or let's say Judaism's sacred writings.